Modern media can facilitate a number of stereotypes regarding people with disabilities. In their article titled Culture, Media, and Representation, Barnes and Mercer state that representations of people with disabilities are highly stereotypical. These stereotypes can include being pitiable, pathetic, an object of ridicule, and many other negative qualities.
Harlan Hahn claims the good parts of ordinary lives, love, romance, and sex, are largely absent or not stressed in disabled characters' lives. Still, other opponents of media's current representation of people with disabilities find further problems to dispute. Clem Bastow states, "It's particularly noticeable in Hollywood where going disabled is seen somewhat cynically as a surefire path to award season glory."
There are a number of successful portrayals in modern media that do not showcase favorable representations. In the fifth season of the hit TV medical drama show Grey's Anatomy, Dr. Dixon was introduced. Dr. Dixon is a surgeon who also happens to have Asperger syndrome. Her character has received backlash from the Asperger community for being highly stereotypical and even unrealistic.
The Indian film Tera Mera Satrahan by Mahesh Manjrekar involves Raj Dixit and his younger brother Rahul. Rahul is a 14-year-old boy who has a type of cerebral palsy which affects him physically and mentally, making him completely dependent on his brother. When Raj falls in love with a girl who will only marry him if he enters his brother into a disability center, Raj is forced to choose between taking care of his brother and being with the girl. This is a negative portrayal of cerebral palsy in that it implies that people who have cerebral palsy are a hindrance to their family and they constantly need to be taken care of. Jim Sheridan's award-winning 1989 film My Left Foot and Jason Katims' NBC drama Parenthood both showcase favorable representations of people with disabilities by providing realistic and positive qualities in their disabled characters. My Left Foot is a film based on the true story of Christy Brown, an Irishman born with cerebral palsy who could control only his left foot. In this scene, Christy attempts to write his first word on the ground in chalk while his family anxiously watches. This scene is notable because it demonstrates the media's ability to portray a situation realistically. The struggle shown here is not over-dramatized or downplayed, it simply represents how a similar real-life situation would play out. The length of the scene is also significant. Since moviegoers are so used to quick shots in films, showing only enough information to get the story down, the prolonged focus on Christie's struggle more closely resembles real life as well.
In this scene, Max exemplifies a number of common qualities found among children with Asperger syndrome.
Hey, what's going on? I heard a lot about you, little man.
You're black.
You'll notice Max's tendency to speak frankly, without any comprehension of social graces. This is a very common tendency found among people with Asperger syndrome.
So the cool thing about the Hercules beetle is that it's sexually dimorphic.
As they eat dinner, Max talks in great length about his interest in insects. People with Asperger tend to take strong interest in unusual subjects and activities, and can often ramble on about them to other people.
I have a book in my room that shows you the difference.
Well, that's cool. I want to see it. You know, I like bugs, too. I had to live with them sometimes growing up.
Why?
Because bugs tend to live in old buildings that haven't really been taken care of.
Oh, you're poor.
It's not that Max is being consciously rude, it's just that people with Asperger tend to vocalize their
I
thoughts.
prefer honesty in people.
And you typed all of it with your left foot?
I didn't do it with my nose.
In this scene, Christy flirts with his caretaker, thus exemplifying that the media does portray the aforementioned good parts of disabled people's lives, such as love and romance. Christy's caretaker even flirts back with him and is clearly charmed by his wit. And even though the actor who plays Christy does not actually have cerebral palsy, and he won an award for his performance, his portrayal primarily serves to encourage able-bodied people to have a more positive perspective on those who do have cerebral palsy.
Would you like a drink?
I'm working, I can't.
Later.
In this scene, Max is delivering a speech because of his intention to run for student council president, which is a prime example of Max's ability to break Mercer's aforementioned stereotypes of being pitiable or pathetic.
I have something called Asperger's. Having Asperger's makes some things very difficult for me, like looking people in the eye or saying hello. So I don't do those things very often. Some things also come very easily to me because I have Asperger's, like being smart and remembering almost everything. Also, it means being tenacious. And so I will be tenacious about the vending machines. Another thing about Asperger's is that I always keep my promises. So when I tell you that I will bring back the vending machines, you can believe me. Some people say that having Asperger's can sometimes be a bad thing, but I'm glad I have it because I think it's my greatest strength.
Vending machines! Hell yeah, Max!
Max is a very positive representation in the scene because he embraces who he is and does not see his Asperger's as some sort of ailment or form of suffering, which many people with Asperger's resonate with.
Not all representation in modern media is poor regarding people with disabilities. There is still some question regarding Bastow's point about Hollywood capitalizing on disability, but regardless of whether or not this is true, the increase in representation is still beneficial to the disabled community.
A study by a master's degree student about the effect clips involving disabled people have on people without disabilities concluded that, whilst the clips can promote awareness and shift attitudes toward people with disabilities, it may well be a moot point if people are not exposed to the clips. Therefore, the current media exposure of disability, whether favorable or not, is necessary in order for representation to progress into a more accurate, favorable state. My Left Foot and Parenthood are just two examples of how a history of exposure to disability in media is creating an environment for appropriate representations.